Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is RL Woodson, or just Wood. Had to jump in real quick. Um, so that's why no intro. It's kind of a very stripped down show. But you saw from the title, we have. I can't believe that this thing continues. This Claressa Shields versus Laila Ali rivalry or proposed bout. I'm struggling with the fact that this thing is making it into like its third week. Well, it's made it into its third week. Wow. And two of the main drivers, the two guys really pushing this at this point, are two of the guys who were instrumental in getting it started, which is the Akin Barak or Akin Barak of the Akin Barak show that comes on Sirius XM's Fight Nation. Yesterday they had Eddie Hearn on, and of course, Hearn is interested in the fight. Excuse me. If he has Paul and this Gibb cat getting ready to fight, of course, there'd be some interest in seeing if they could persuade Laila Ali into this, into taking this fight. I'm just struggling to understand what sense does it make. Like Laila, since she walked away, has she had any dealings with boxing? I don't think she's tried to do any of the studio stuff. I don't. There's been no involvement with the PBC, none with Top Rank. I don't think she has any history with any of these entities, any of the players. Like, and then my other question, and I got a few questions, I guess is what I'm gonna get into before I get off of here. Does Claressa Shields or does Laila Ali, with this new deal that she has with OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, for her show, Homemade Simple, I believe is the name of it. Does she make more just doing that than what Claressa will make if she fights 2 times in 2020? I'm betting that she does. I'm betting that she's getting at least an M for this deal with Oprah Winfrey Network. I could be a little ignorant there. I mean, and part of it could be there's a decent amount of money budgeted for the show. So maybe if she's not taking home, an M, I would imagine that some good money is wrapped up in this show that she has. In addition to that, how do you expect her to step away? Like, she had to hustle to get all of this together to present. When she got the meeting with OWN, she had to get a team together to pull this thing off. Like, I've made a commitment to show writers, editors, film crews. It's probably some different businesses involved, with helping with the supply of what they're doing. How does she justify stepping away from all of that to make Akin Barak happy? To make a handful of boxing fans happy? I was looking, Laila's Instagram, since the two fellas love to talk about Instagram and social media. Laila has over 900, I want to say 920, almost 930,000, unless I got my 972 confused with 922. But I want to say around 930,000 followers on Instagram. In comparison, Claressa Shields has 283,000, I believe. Another question. Laila said she wanted 5 or 10, so she probably meant closer to 8. 7.5, 8 million for her to consider this or to do this. Some of the foolishness in here, in my opinion, is how does Claressa Shields, how do they pay her 5 million? How do both of them get 5 million? Like, this, the talks of this is really asinine. Another question. Laila Ali has been away from the game for 13 games. She's 42. George Foreman was like 38 when he came back. in 87, I believe. He came back in 87. He was 38. He didn't fight Evander Holyfield until 91, I believe. He had a string of like explorative fights to get back into it. How bad does women's boxing have to be, or the outlook for Claressa Shields? How shaky do things have to look if the expectation is for this 42-year-old woman who's been absent for 13 years, for her to step back into the game and and compete against the face of women's boxing? That's not even a good statement for the women's game. If Laila the goal was to make it 10 rounds and go to distance, like how was that even, and Claressa wins, like how was that even good for her? George, like I said, 4 years, George at least had 6 or 7 fights, maybe even more. But he came back and fought a cat that was like 25-11 or something. How does Akin Barak, Eddie Hearn, and now Dimitri Salita, how do you expect this woman to come back and face arguably the game's best? Like, what sense does that even make? What are we wasting our time with this for? I'm struggling with it. I mean, damn. She helped Laila, use their brand. Akin Barak used the Ali brand, or Laila Ali's brand. Sway in the morning, she took advantage of Sway's audience. Sway took advantage of her name. The Breakfast Club, fair exchange there. Another thing that's a little disgusting is that at 42, in phenomenal shape. It's some people sitting up typing right now that Laila's an old lady, this old woman, this old blankety blank. It's some people typing this stuff whose bodies are trash at like 23, whose bodies are trash at 25, who can't do 25 push-ups, who can't walk a flight of stairs without losing their breath at like 32. And you sitting here talking about Laila, this old woman, this old head, her day is done. Like, no respect for the fact that, yeah, she walked away from the game 13 years ago. She's been hustling and grinding ever since, being a businesswoman, being a professional, developing things, getting off the couch, like fighting her fight and winning. She's got her seasonings. She's encouraging people to healthier lifestyle. She has her body clean, her 14-day cleanse. She's been a show host on a couple of different series. She competed in the dancing thing, the contest, Dancing with the Stars. She's in a complete, she's already separated by a generation or two. A generation is like 7 years. It's 24 and 42 years. 2 or 3 generations we're talking about. Like, how foolish is this? Why not? They just skipped over the fact of, let's talk about Raquel Miller as the next opponent. How do you build her up? You see her ratings like almost halved. They slipped nearly like 40% or something from her last show with Habazine. We raced right past the fact that we didn't even know how the hell Habazine became the person. At least with Christina Hammer, we knew it wasn't asking a great deal of us to think why she was the girl or why she was the woman that was chosen. Did anybody know Habazine? Did anybody even care to know Habazine until her trainer was sucker punched and laid out? So Eddie comes on and says, Laila called me. He said that in 2019, January 2019, he slid into quote unquote, he slid into Laila's DMs on Instagram, and said, if not now, then when, champ? You know, something along those lines. Come on back. He said it went unresponded to. And then he said that she didn't follow him. Like, she doesn't care about boxing. And I'm tripping off the fact that, you know, she said as much as she did. I mean, I can't believe that she really got off message the way that she did. I think in listening to those shows, I don't even know what the name of her show was after I listened to the interviews. Like, I had to go back and I listened to them. I didn't listen to all of them in one setting. You know, I was listening to different pieces of them. But I was kind of shocked that and that's how it gets. Like, it's 4 or 5 people in the Sway in the Morning crew asking you questions and jumping in with thoughts and points and whatnot. The Breakfast Club is 3 people. It's 3 hosts or co-hosts. They're all asking questions from different angles. And then it's Ak and Barack is 2 guys in there, but then like their producers also contribute heavily to the show. So, you know, it's a party kind of scene, a day party kind of scene. It's real lax. And, you know, Laila, I'm promoting this thing for all day. I'm up at Sirius XM station, you know, at the headquarters or whatnot, the studios all day. Let me address this. Let me get it out here. I thought it was somewhat dope that she gave people, you know, share their thoughts on the subject. And of course, it's gonna get feisty and testy, and maybe moderately disrespectful. And then, of course, you know, Claressa Shields has to respond. So it's all fair play. But again, who the hell is giving both of them? Who's giving Claressa Shields $5 million? And I got no issues with Claressa. You know, I'm as solid a fan of Claressa as Ak and Barack and anybody else that happens to like her. But I can't help that ask that question. Like, how does she command $5 million for that? And then we look at it, if we're talking about Mayweather coming back at 42, is he gonna fight Errol Spence Jr.? Is he gonna fight Bud Crawford? Is he gonna fight Jaron Ennis? Is he fighting anybody in contention? Is he even fighting a boxer? He walked away at 38 against Andre Berto. He didn't face Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Errol Spence Jr. He didn't face none of those guys. He walked away against Andre Berto, who has shown a lot of who had shown signs of being pretty worn at that point. But now we're going to expect Laila Ali to take off her hard hat and her craftsman gloves, take off and put her tool belt, you know, on the water saw, and go over here and start getting in shape to go face arguably the face of women's boxing. What sense does that even make? Now, I'm not gonna lie, part of me would love her to do something unexpected, and that's how Eddie Hearn pitches it. You know, this is outside of the box, it's creative, it's phenomenal, such and such, such and such. But who else in the world is taking that challenge? Who else in the world is taking that challenge? Then the expectation, she needs to drop 35 pounds. Ak and Barack. She needs to drop 35 pounds. That's no problem. Like, we just saw our dude Chino Maidana come back for like 6 or 7 weeks. I don't even know if he made it to 6 weeks. He's up around 190 pounds, 220 pounds, 210 pounds, trying to work his way back down to 147. He got a few weeks into it and was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm headed back to, where he's from, Venezuela? Not Venezuelan, is he? That don't sound right. Whatever. I'm headed back to South America. But Laila, mother of 2, I think, husband, Curtis Conway, successful businesswoman, different brands and everything, products going on. I'm going to go and lose, I'm going to go and lose 35 pounds to help out Claressa Shields and her visibility and to give her an event, a moment, a boxing moment. I'm like, man, fork I look like, man. Fork I look like. For what? For what? How do you, my last question, so I can get on off here. How do you even, how do we disrespect the game like that? Young boy, the young bull came back last night for the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson. Did he come in and play 42 minutes, 45 minutes, 38 minutes? Did he guard the toughest? Was he guarding DeRozan and Aldridge one-on-one? Was he going up against them one-on-one all night? No. He played, I think he played less than 20 minutes, heavy minutes restriction at the moment. Great night from him, for not efficient night. I think 22 points, 4-4 from behind the arc, 8 of 11 from the field, almost shot 75% from the field or something. Beautiful. That's missing 3 months. And he came back and had to do the prudent thing. Laila, I know you've been out 13 years, sis. And that's the thing, thinking that, I think Hearn said, well, yeah, she said what her price was. Similar situation with Anthony Joshua a couple years ago with the $50 million thing. But Hearn is like, yeah, well, people say what they, at least Dimitri Salita was like, we love to fight. We'd have to sit down and have a serious conversation. Kept it truly respectful. Hearn is like, maybe this is like, what if I'm John Skipper and I get this email from Eddie Hearn and here's the proposal. I need just to throw it out there as a placeholder. John, I need 10 mil for Laila Ali against Claressa Shields. I don't know where they hold it. I don't know if people travel to it. Who do you put around it? Is that the main event? Does it really equate to new subscribers? Seemed like a lot of hassle for a little bit for very little return, in my opinion. But again, they're doing these celebrity bouts, so it might look like it makes sense. But if I'm John Skipper, man, I don't really respond to that right away. But anyway, finishing off with the whole Zion Williamson thing, like, again, she just supposed to come in and go fresh off the street, fresh out of the game for 13 years. She just supposed to go up against the best that the game has to offer. I just don't know what we're really talking about here. Ellen Cederroos from Sweden, the unified champion, at super middleweight, looked like a target. Maybe needs some time to mature a little bit. Alejandra Jimenez, a 168 champ. I think she might be, I think she's unified. Eager to come down to 160, called out Claressa Shields. Like, these are the discussions that I think we should be having. Fights that are, they're realistic. It's a realistic, run at that to get it done. I think we need to be serious and not waste, this is a beautiful spot those guys got every day, 3 hours, noon to 3 or whatever. Like, let's maximize that time, and it's a mockery of the women's game. We don't have anybody for it. We're going to go get this 42-year-old who has a name and face recognition and all of this. She got a Q rating or Q score, whatever it is. Come on, man, we could do better than that. Eddie hitting up everybody in the DMs to make deals. I did this. I sent this to Charlo. I sent this to Laila. All this communication in the world, and that's how we gonna go at it. Is trying to. I don't like getting nothing off of Instagram, to be honest with you. But I'm supposed to initiate a business discussion on Instagram. Oh, okay. Anyway, man, let me get on off of here, man. I think that was pretty much all I had to say on that matter. Again, huge shout to the bull Zion Williamson. Welcome back. And, maybe the NBA can get his numbers together with an exciting figure returning to the game, to take advantage of all of those dates that they had planned for the Pels. Let me get on off here, man. Thanks for checking me out. Please hit that like button if you like any of the information that was presented or the topics that were covered. I got a new article out there at overtimeheroics.net about the just picking through the Julian Williams situation from last Saturday, tying it into Philadelphia sports with us being a week and a half, or less than a week and a half away from the Super Bowl with Andy Reid, and going back to revisiting his days in late January in Philadelphia. You can check that out. Again, overtimeheroics.net. Also, please stop by bitedownboxing.com. Quite a bit of coverage over there. I think I also dropped a piece last week over on my other partner's page, roundbyroundboxing.com. Again, Bite Down Boxing, don't let them count you out. Presented by the Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment Podcast. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.